And you heard about any of the Sydney Sweeney topic buzz drama going on right now?
Yes, who hasn't heard about the Sydney Sweeney?
Right.
All this buzz going on right now. It's this really interesting amalgamous thing that has some people very upset, has other people celebrating for a whole variety of reasons. And yeah, we're gonna dive in and talk some Sydney Sweeney. If you guys aren't familiar, I'm a big Sydney Sweeney fan myself for her acting ability.
Of course.
I just think that she's a wonderful actress.
Absolutely.
That's it. There's no other reason. No ulterior motives here.
Absolutely.
I think she does great work in commercials. I think the Dr. Squatch commercial where they put her bathwater in the soaps, I think that was funny.
You know,
it's a good marketing campaign.
It was good It sounds so outrageous, but I think that's what marketing is at the same time. Good marketing that pierces through the noise, but at the same time, the bathwater. Can you give us a little bit, real quick, as we get into it? And I think it's funny because I think it's culturally relevant. Give us a little insight on what was that bathwater in the marketing for Sydney Sweeney, those kind of things.
Sure. Let's go even broader. Okay. Sydney Sweeney, if you're not familiar with her, she is a very successful actress right now. Perhaps, probably a top 10 most successful actress that's out in the world right now. She came up, she's been acting since she was young. She came up on Disney Channel and then jumped over to, did we decide it was Riverdale? No, it's Euphoria.
It was Euphoria.
Yes, got her first big adult role on Euphoria.
That's when I initially found out.
Yes, and that is when she initially shot into relevance was through her role on Euphoria. She's done a number of movies since. She just, I know she had a big rom-com that did really well last year. And she is very attractive. So lots of companies have, I guess, gotten her for marketing campaigns to lean into the fact that she is very attractive. And one of them was Dr. Squatch, which is a soap company. They make soaps that they say are natural. I actually used Dr. Squatch soap for a little while I was in high school, but it really dried me out. So that's my personal take. But I got eczema and stuff, so I kind of need, I got a dermatologist recommended soap now. But she did a marketing campaign for Dr. Squatch soap where they were taking her bathwater and putting it into bars of soap. And that was the entire marketing campaign. Low-hanging fruit for sure, but also, as Errol alluded to, in this day and age with marketing and with everybody having the ability to market on social media freely and however they see fit, you kind of do have to do something to be able to cut through all that noise and get people buzzing about you. And companies seem to be finding that Sydney Sweeney is a good way to do that.
100%. And I think with the bathwater, I wanted to bring it up, the fact that it was culturally relevant. And don't worry, guys, we're gonna tie this into what does this have to do with the market. We'll talk a little bit about
this has strong market ties, people. Just bear with us.
But I do think it's really culturally relevant just because, what's funny? The bathwater is so outrageous just to even think about. They know that. That's why these headlines are going to be buzzing. The bathwater came from TikTok comments. If nobody else knows that, right? If you're a Gen Z and you're reading up in those comments, that was a joke initially.
Oh, yeah. Like, let me drink your bathwater.
Right, absolutely.
So, I would do X, Y, Z just to be able to. Yeah,
right. Exactly. So this is where it came from, just to add a little bit of context. Because if you think about it.
Simping is a new phenomenon as well. Yes, correct.
So with the whole bathwater thing, it might sound like it came out of nowhere, but it was actually really culturally relevant, especially if you're a younger individual on TikTok looking at the comments section. So.
Yes. And I do think credit where it's due. I think Belle Delphine invented the bathwater thing. I think she was the first one.
Was it?
I think she was the first one that was ever out here selling bathwater. So shout out to her. But again, I think that was created from the prominence of that sort of commentary. Yes. So selling bathwater. Guys, don't buy bathwater. Don't buy bathwater. Don't buy cans of farts. Don't do any of these things. Don't, please.
And if you do, just take it to the grave.
If you're ever thinking about it, think about me and don't do it for me. I'm asking you personally. But let's dive right in here. Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Sydney Sweeney made headlines this week following a raunchy ad campaign with American Eagle. But is the outrage justified? And more importantly, what impact did this have on the market? That's a big one, a way bigger one than you would think from an ad campaign. So let's dive right in here. So first and foremost, the ad itself. Sydney Sweeney is running an ad campaign with American Eagle right now, and the tagline for this entire campaign is Sydney Sweeney has great genes. And they spell jeans with a J. American Eagle sells jeans. That's
off the bat. When I saw that, I was like, oh, it's fire marketing.
It's a bar. Like, immediately.
That's a bar, and that was my initial reaction before reading any comments, anything like that. I was like, wow. Give that intern a raise.
Yes, exactly. Whoever came up with this, I absolutely agree. American Eagle, obviously jeans are one of their primary products. Sydney Sweeney, an incredibly attractive woman, obviously has good genes with a G. This is a fun little tie-in that came about. But they took a raunchy angle. They leaned into her sex appeal, which is something that she has, expressed that she's comfortable with. And more power to her, by the way. I will say, I said to Errol earlier off air, if I were Sydney Sweeney, I would be doing the exact same thing. I can't imagine how much money they paid her for this. Yeah, exactly. So here's a few screenshots from the ad campaign itself. There is many, many more. I was able to source like 8 or 9 different cuts that they did of this ad earlier this morning. But these 3 screenshots along the top are from what's going to be our specific advertisement.
So it was like frame by frame.
Yeah. That's going to be our specific advertisement of interest for the day. This is the one that has created a lot of outrage, and it has not, and this is important to emphasize, it has not created much outrage because she is leaning into her sex appeal.
Right.
People rather are upset about the jeans comment,
Right.
which is the bigger issue. So
Right.
Kick us over here. Tell us about the backlash, Errol.
We got a little bit of backlash. If you were on Twitter today at some point, as we've seen in the comment section right here, you did see Tom in a very similar outfit. Don't be alarmed. But as we get into a couple of these tweets, this is where a lot of the criticisms really came from. I mean, over here we have it comparing it to, the sex workers a little bit. Sex workers equals heroes and Sydney Sweeney. So hard to see the comments on that one. But you can see a lot of the backlash from Sydney Sweeney sexualizing herself. And you made a comment that I want to piggyback a little bit off of earlier today, was the fact that, times have changed. It is 2025. I think we have to take into account what the younger generation is a little bit more comfortable, what's a little bit more socially acceptable. On that topic, I think it is a little bit more supported. So I think it is a little bit hypocritical to push back on the sexualized angle that people are taking the criticism from on Sydney Sweeney, because at the same time, the younger generation, or at least our culture, we support that a little bit more. So it does kind of seem like a cultural hypocrisy at the same time. So that was my initial take from some of these screenshots and criticisms that we see.
Yeah, that's absolutely something. And it's like, it's this initial reply from this Volo individual on Twitter here. Does Sydney Sweeney do anything besides sexualize herself? And it's like, yeah, if you want to take the stance of women should not sexualize themselves for profit, I can absolutely respect that, but you better hold that stance across the board.
Absolutely.
Like what I was saying to you earlier today is you can't say this about Sydney Sweeney, and then when you're one of your girlfriends says that they want to start an OnlyFans, say, oh, yes, queen, do that. Get your bag. You have to pick one lane or the other. And as long as you're consistent in it, I can respect whatever your viewpoint is. But yes, this Jack Mack individual then draws great attention to the point that is sort of a hypocritical stance to take, especially in the modern age. So yeah, that's the sex appeal side of it. Let's dive over into the, I don't know. I don't want to use the word woke.
More backlash.
Yes, but the heavier backlash side of it. Yeah. Many people were very, very upset about the jeans part of this and insinuated that because Sydney Sweeney is a white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes, that this somehow was Nazi symbolism or has Nazi undertones. Now, I don't get political on this show ever, and I don't think this is a political comment that I'm about to make. I think that is ridiculous. And specifically, the specific quote is, she said, I have great genes and my genes are blue.
Right.
And then people are taking that and interpreting it as she's talking about her eye color, eugenics is mentioned, dog whistles, all these buzzwords that people like to use these days. But it's just not that. Like, this just feels like as we said at the beginning, it just feels like a good campaign to me.
I've been offended at things before. And typically, if I'm ever offended at something, if I'm honest with myself, at its core, it's rooted in insecurity, right? So I think that whenever we see takes like that online, it could be, if we crank the data, it could be rooted in a little bit of insecurity. And that could just be like the initial reaction. Completely agree.
Yes. Right. And I would be inclined to agree with that viewpoint, especially as it pertains to her sexualizing.
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
because 100%. She is obviously incredibly attractive, and perhaps insecurity plays into that. And I think that it could absolutely be true here as well. I'm seeing engineered outrage in the chat. I think that's
like human behavior. How do humans react to certain things? Another attractive woman, it could cause a little bit, depending on how we market her. Also, with the bath soap, I think she also realized, or their marketing team, her whole team probably recognized her name was catching so much buzz. The bath soap was the first thing, right? And American Eagle and some other ads came after that. So I think they noticed that, wow, this towing the line with our marketing is working really well. And we ended up seeing a breakout with that American Eagle ad.
Absolutely, yes. As we're about to get into here in a second. And,
right.
And I mean, no big deal. And the point is, though, that we are sitting here talking about this right now. I mean, that means that this is a good advertisement. It gets people talking. It creates brand awareness. I don't know when the last time I even thought about American Eagle was. And actually, I know.
True.
I can tell you the last time I thought about American Eagle, and it's when they signed Addison Rae in like 2021. So American Eagle doing good things, with their marketing. But anyway, let's we can dive over here and let's talk about the impacts of this.
We got a little bit of impacts on the American Eagle. Shares surged 23.3% from $9.65 to $12.20 after the new ad campaign that sparked a lot of outrage. Shares have since settled around $11. It's a pretty cheap underlying, not too expensive, but it still reflects about a 14% gain driven purely by this campaign that we've been seeing. No reported sales boost or change in fundamentals. So purely, we don't always know exactly what moves a stock. We don't exactly know why people are buying and selling, but with no fundamental changes or no new news for American Eagle besides their campaigns, I think we can credit this recent volatility towards what's been going on with Sydney Sweeney.
Yes, absolutely. And it's insane that this kind of move can even happen. Even if American Eagle gives all of these gains back and they wind up just settling back in at their share price, which logically they should do. Nothing has changed about the fundamentals of the company surrounding this until we see more sales numbers or something like that. But the fact that a single ad campaign can have this type of impact, can swing you up almost 25% in the stock market, is insanity. And it's purely because of the ad.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving forward, is this brilliant? Starts to become the question. American Eagle shares are currently sitting up 14%. Searches here, that's this top blue line Google Trends bar here. Searches are up 500% for American Eagle in the last, in the last month, I should say, rolling month. This collab, it trended for 2 days on Twitter, X, it was everywhere. And yeah, ultimately the controversy has just boosted the brand of both people. There's a ton of buzz everywhere, including right now as we're sitting here for Sydney Sweeney, for American Eagle. Search results are way through the roof. Obviously, brand awareness has increased and you tangibly increased your market cap. I mean, what more can you ask for out of an advertisement? That's more than you usually can ask for out of an advertisement.
100%. I mean, it kind of sounds like we're going back to some of the marketing that is really towing the line. I think that gets a lot of engagement, that gets a lot of traction. I think really what it comes down to at the end of the day, to just based off of pure personal speculation, is I think marketing teams are getting with the times. I think that's really what it comes down to. I think marketing teams are learning social media a little bit better. I think most marketing teams are recognizing that to be competitive, you have to be on social media in some capacity. So I think we're kind of seeing a change in just the marketing culture, because I think it's like the Titanic. It's like a big moving ship. It's like it goes from the TV running ads. Now it's like these companies don't even have budgets to give companies that are looking to be on TV anymore. Now it's switching to social media. And now a lot of these people are getting the budgets for that. So I think what it really comes down to is just a shift in a lot of the marketing culture.
Absolutely. And I think there's also a major factor of, knowing your clientele. And obviously you would never want to do any advertising that alienates your clientele. That goes without saying. But beyond that, yeah, American Eagle recognizes that their clientele, the people that they're trying to appeal to, are culturally aware of Sydney Sweeney, are primarily on social media. And I think that Sydney Sweeney's management team is starting to realize that they kind of have a modern day Marilyn Monroe sitting here, and they're taking their opportunities to leverage that. I don't think it's a shortcoming on the
Or do you think, I just thought about this, you think they missed their target audience and it blew up even more? Perhaps. Or maybe their target audience helped prop up the attention and then it garnered more attention. I don't know, but it's something to think about.
I mean, fundamentally, I think that modeling with clothing companies, and regardless of gender, both ways, has always been about showing attractive people wearing your clothes and trying to insinuate to us, the viewer of the ad, that, oh, you can look like this too if you wear our clothes. And so I think that they haven't really changed the model all that much. They just decided to be way more direct about it.
Right.
And
Great point.
I think that that's an interesting angle to take.
Yeah.